Hello everybody and welcome back to another Rise of Myth Cthulhu video. Today we're going to be doing a run through Act 1. The goal of this video is to show you a bit about the Explore phase, getting card rewards, how combat works, understanding a little bit about exploring the map and getting yourselves ready so that you can fight the Great Old One. It's going to be a fun one. I'm going to cut it at around Encounter 4 just before we start Encounter 5, and then I'll jump towards the end of the run just so you guys can sort of see how it all played out by the time we got to the Great Old One. And in this video series we will be able to show you a fight with a Great Old One, and we will also show you Act 2, but you're not going to do that all in one day, so just make it a little bit easier on a viewing experience. So with that all said and done, let's talk about our setup and how we're going to be taking on Arkham, which is going to be the Great Old One of Cthulhu. To talk a little bit about the setup that we have here, I'm going to be playing the Seer and the Sorcerer as a duo. I'm going to be playing both these characters at the same time, so it's a little bit more of a mental load, but we'll figure it out. I'm also going to set the game to 8 progress points, so the lower your progress points, the harder the game actually is, as you'll have access to less upgrades and things that would help you get that head start and really start upgrading your decks quickly. So we're just going to go ahead and play 8. As that's kind of in the middle, it'll give us a good enough challenge, and it will also mean that I should be able to show you most of the things I want to show you with this. The Sorcerer is very, very good at applying status effects, and we're going to be trying to get lots of these bleeds down because the Seer has a build that very heavily does a bunch of extra things if we have tons of bleed. Our class relics are the Tarot deck and the Swamp Plague. Starting with the Tarot deck, every time our draw pile runs out of cards, we gain an energy or we regain a sanity. That is sustain on our character. That's very, very strong, as we effectively don't have to draw a way of getting our sanity back if we keep our deck nice and small. We also begin the game with 12 HP and 9 sanity. This will be pretty good. The Sorcerer basically is going to be our tanking character. We're going to try and draw all the attention to our Sorcerer, while the Seer just absolutely annihilates everything. On the Sorcerer side, we're going to be playing the Swamp Plague. It gives us 12 health, 8 sanity. This class relic says, at the end of your turn, you may inflict one condition that is not in play on an enemy. This will allow us to put extra nasty things down, including stuns. It can let us put down the bleed that we need to, or we can put down prisons just to get that extra damage through the enemy defense. First, we're going to start with the upgrades. So effectively with our 8 points, we can choose any number of these to give ourselves a starting boost. So what I'm going to do with our 8 points, and we've got this handy little calculator that should be doing it here, is I'm going to go ahead and remove 3 cards from the deck, and either additional, we want the class item, and I will take the extra uncommon cards in the shop. So that means once we can get the uncommon rewards, we'll be able to buy an uncommon card. We are going to get one shop, so hopefully, well, ideally in the run, we're going to take one shot. I do have to keep in mind, without taking that extra health, that we might be in a little bit of danger, but we'll remove 3 cards, and when we get to it, we'll be able to get these. So we'll also get a random class item. So let's see what that is. And we will be playing Broken Sphere. Once per round, draw a card the second time you divine. Oh, this is not very good into our bleed build. It'll be pretty good early, though. We just probably have to be accepting that. But depending, we could go for a heavier divination build. We don't have to go bleed. It's just the Sorcerer is very good at putting down bleeds. So we'll just see what the cards come out as. Ah, it does actually change what cards we remove from the deck, though. Oh, this is tough. We could go into divinations and then use the Sorcerer more for tanking stuff. Yeah, okay, let's try and do that. So I'll go over to the Sorcerer, do theirs, and then I'll remove the cards from the starting decks, and then we'll be good to go. So for our 8 points, we're going to go ahead and take an extra 2 starting life. So I'll go ahead and start on 14. And then I will also remove a bunch of cards from the deck. So if we're going into divinations, or rather, we can focus trying to go a little bit split. We don't have to go crazy for the Broken Sphere. It's just very good when it does go off. Let's take a look at the cards that we start with. We get to remove 3 cards. This is the problem here. I think we kind of ignore that we have Broken Sphere until it's relevant, because otherwise I'd take out the edges and then just use the Sorcerer to put the bleeds down. But this does kind of limit our damage output if I do that. If I cut these free, and then we're pretty much just playing fluctuations, premeditations. I don't hate that, but then this is going to miss a lot. We could take out the premeditations, but that goes very well Broken Sphere. Well, if we say we don't need the edges, we'll go 1, 2, and then for the third card, I'll cut a Sense Danger, because I don't think this is very good. That will give us 9 cards to start with, and then we can try and go for a bit of a hybrid of Divination and Bleed. We'll just grab the ones that make sense. We'll also remove 3 cards from the Sorcerer deck, which in this case is going to be Trail, and probably, yeah, Front Charge. So just to explain these cards that I removed, I don't want to go too much into it so we can actually just jump into the game. Trail gives you attack 1 and defense 1 if the enemy has any conditions. For 1, it's conditionally 2 stats for 1 energy, which is not the worst exchange in a starting deck. Front Charge is attack 1 and defense 1, lose a sanity. We don't want to be paying sanity. We have a very small pool. So let's just not do that. So with these cards out of the deck, we're good to start. So let me just line everything up. Check. We're all good. We're at the right health. Our progress points are all spent. Excellent. Right. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab a map tile. So we're going to give the map tile a shuffle, and then we're going to go ahead and flip this over. Okay, there is a shop here. This is important because we are going to want to access one shop on this run, and there's 2 encounters up here. So in actual fact, for our Explore token, we're going to go here, and we're going to go down, and later when we find a portal, we are going to come back and grab this shop when we need it. So for encounter 1, we take a look at our encounters card. This is common minion. So what we do is we get our common minion out of here. We do set our encounter number to 1, as this is the first one we've gone on to, and then we'll deploy. So what we do is we shuffle, we lay them out, and then we check the initiative order. So we can see that the converted goes first because it has 3 in the top right and attacks a player with the lowest sanity. The dog is going to attack second as it has the second highest initiative at 2, and it will attack the last player that attacked it. And Pestilent performs attack 2 against a character who defeats it and attacks a player with the highest health. So what we do with these counters is we place them on who's being attacked. So in this case, we're going according to plan. Our Sorcerer is going to be the center of attention. We can just kill this, probably kill this dog immediately. Might be a little bit harder without the edges, but we'll see how we get on. So we will random up and then draw 6 cards. Okay, and we also know that we have 3 defensive cards in our deck, and we've drawn 1 of them, so there's only a 33% chance that this Corpse in the Making lands. But it's not the end of the world because we have the tarot deck, so that helps. And then what I'll do, just to sort of keep things clearer, is we'll put the cards here, and I'll walk you through it. Normally this would be my playing area, but I'll use this area up here, and our energy slots here. Next up, we'll just go ahead and put down 6 cards for our Sorcerer. And then we'll take a look and see what we've got. Okay, we did get the Ivy Skin. That's very good. So what we want to do is discard a Drain Life. So if I just sort my hand out a little bit here, actually if I do this, we can discard Drain Life, and this gives us 2 energy on the Sorcerer. We only have to put a bleed condition down in order for our Fluctuate to get the bonus damage. So Fluctuate is attack 2 or defense 2, and then we get to add attack 2 or defense 2 if the enemy has any bleed. So we'll pay 2, and then we'll play a Ivy Skin. Ivy Skin is defense 2 and puts bleed 1 on all enemies targeting us. 1, 2. And then we get a bleed on these 2 enemies. Bleed will deal damage at the end of their turn. So that will give us a good start there, and we've paid our energy down. For our Seer even, what we'll do is we'll discard this to give us 2 energy. And then we can play our Fluctuation. This will deal attack 4 because there's an enemy that has bleed. So what we'll do is we'll just absolutely annihilate this dog. dog has 2 HP and it has 1 guard. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and deal 1 guard and, well, 1 to the defense and then to the HP. So now the dog is dead. Next up, we can take a look. We've got defense 2, so I think actually what we can do on our Sorcerer is we can Blood Cool here to deal this, and that will cost us a life because Blood Cool has Sacrifice, so we'll attack 2 and we'll get that. Over to our Seer. We don't have any energy here, so yeah, it's kind of tricky. So we can get 2 energy. We can play this premeditation for 0. This is attack 1, and we can use a divination. But what we'll do is choose... If we do both, we could get Lucky with the Broken Sphere, but I know that we have another Defensive Insight and a Hermit in here, so there's only a 33% chance that that play works out. So we'll just use Premeditation, deal 1 to this. We won't use a Divination. Then we will Premeditation, use the Divination. It is the Hierophant. So as we fail the Divination, we receive a Prison. Prison deals damage to you before you attack. So the trick here is that we just don't attack, and we won't have to deal with that. So we deal 1, which isn't going to do anything here. Then we can just play our Defensive Insight. We have done a Divination this turn, so we just get 2 defense. And that will end our turn. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and tidy this up. Any status effects that don't get used at the end of the round, they just get removed, so we'll get rid of this. We could have... Well, technically, what we could do if we say that's the end of the Seer's turn is we could discard 2 for Drain Life, and we can play our Mother Earth to get 2 defense, draw a card. And, yeah, we don't really want to use this Blood Cool, as we want to make sure that our Sorcerer is the highest HP. Also, we get this leader token. I should have put this down at the start, but effectively, whoever has the leader token, you become the target in ties. And there's some cards that target based on who has the leadership token. It wouldn't have affected anything in this turn because we just put it on our Sorcerer. And so we've gone ahead and we've put everything down. So we come to the minions' turn. Oh, wait, we get our Swamp Plague. Our Swamp Plague lets us put a condition on an enemy that's not already in play. So what we'll do is we'll put the Prison status effect on the Pestilent. Both of these are attacking the Sorcerer, as we can see from these tokens. This will attack the characters who he deals damage, so we're not going to take any damage. So this attacks us for 2. So we go 1-2 out of our defense, and then we resolve the Bleed, which will reduce the HP for this minion to 0, and then we'll go ahead and turn this one face down. This one deals an attack 2 against the character who defeated it. So no character is defeating it. It will attack our Sorcerer for 2, as that's who it's targeting, and then it will take 1 for the Bleed and 1 for the Prison. It would take damage from the Prison first, but doesn't particularly matter in this case. And then that is a complete round. So we go ahead and reset our energies, and we reset everything. And then we set our round counter to 2. And then this will then change what the minions are going to be doing. As we take a look here, this has brackets. So this means it's going to be attacking all players for free. And it puts a weakness down on all players when it attacks. So the first thing we're going to do is draw new cards on our Seer. So we'll just take our 2 cards. Our deck is empty. Oh, it was a Fluctuate that we had in the deck. Since our deck is empty, we'll flip this over and then we'll draw the remaining 4 cards we need. We just need to give that a random. That will trigger the Tarot deck, as we have ran out of cards on our draw pile, so we'll just gain an energy for free. Then we will, on our Sorcerer, do the same. So we'll go 1, 2, flip these over, give them a good shuffle. Draw 4 cards, and let's put them in the correct play area. Okay, so this only has 2, so we just have to keep in mind the player that kills it is going to get attacked for 2. So what we can do is we ideally want to get a bleed down if we're going to do this, and we can see that we've got a Hermit, a defensive insight. Can we get bleed over here? So who are we targeting? It's the player with the highest... Oh, it's the player with the highest health, but because it's an AoE attack, it targets everybody. So yeah, what we can do is discard our Universal Donor and our Mother Earth. Blue flames tell us that we're getting +1 energy for the donor and -1 energy for the Mother Earth. So that's going to go ahead and give us 2 energy. And then we can go ahead and play our Ivy Skin. It's going to give us 2 defense. And because this is targeting us, we'll put a bleed on it. Then for our turn over here on the Seer, we're going to discard our Corpse in the Making. It's going to put us up to 3 energy. And then what we can do is play Fluctuation. And what we'll do here is we'll do attack 2 and then we'll get defense 2. So we go 1, 2, 1, 2. And then that spends 2 of our energy. And then what we do is we discard this and then we play Fluctuation to deal 4 damage. So we kill this and then we resolve the attack. Performs attack 2 against the character who defeated it. We take 0 damage. And we'll clear the encounter. So congratulations us. We have successfully gone onto the streets of Arkham. So then we go ahead and reset everything. And then give them a good shuffle so I don't forget to do that next turn. And then we come to our rewards. And to know what rewards we get, we take a look at our card. And effectively, we can see we get 2 gold and we get a common card for each person, and we don't get any progress points for that first one. So we go shared coins, 2, and then we're going to go ahead and do our common rewards. So we'll random these and we flip over the top 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. If we get a duplicate, we reveal another card. Well, that's a very good one to get early. Deals double damage to enemies if we have bleeds, which is going to be very useful to us. We'll take a look at our Sorcerer rewards just before we commit to that. Yeah, well that goes really well together, doesn't it? Melee attack 2 is bleed and prison, and it's attack 2. Chaining is very good, but I think I'm okay taking the natural barrier for this. And that's a pretty good start. We'll get the B plan and we'll be able to put down bleeds, and then we'll be able to double up the damage. Providing we're not taking any hits back, this will let us drop enemies pretty successfully. So I'll go ahead and put these counters back over here. Then we'll get rid of the enemies we've already defeated. I'll just put them up here so when we need more, we will be able to just shuffle them back in. So we come back over to our map. Some people do this when they step onto a tile. I always like to do it afterwards. So from here, we're going to explore this bottom part. So to do that, we flip over the map, and then we have a connecting tile, so we can connect it. And we can come down. And then we can take encounter 2. We're not going to go up because I want this shop a little bit later. And ideally, we can try to explore ourselves around so that we can make sure we get the shop before the Great Old One. It is going to be very important that we do so. So when we come to encounter 2, we see we need a common minion. So we go common minion, and then we hit deploy. And then while the game's setting that up, we've got these. So random this, set them up in initiative order. That's the way they come down. We set them up. So this is attacking for 3, defending for 2, has 5 HP. This is just a dork, 2, 2, 3. And then this one is... This one's quite dangerous because if it takes damage and hasn't been defeated, it turns into the next level. We ideally want to kill this on turn 2 where it has less defense because this is pretty tanky. We've got protection. We can see that from the green icon on the card. So that means it gets an extra defense each turn. It also attacks the player with the lowest health, which is going to be our Seer. So with that set up, we've got to figure out who's getting attacked. Lowest sanity, whoever's the leader, lowest health. So we give the leader token to the Sorcerer. We are attacking lowest sanity Sorcerer. Leader Sorcerer. And then we're attacking the Seer who has the lowest health. So let's draw our cards. Starting off very strong. We've drawn all of our well, not very strong, but we have drawn all of our defensive cards, which means that this is 100% going to hit. And that also means that we'll be able to trigger the Broken Sphere. Okay, and then we'll flip over our 6 cards for our Sorcerer. We've got to make sure we reset our energies. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Natural barrier on up to 3 enemies. This is important. Yeah, effectively we don't want to damage this. That would be a little bit... Unless we put 2 bleeds on this, which I don't know if we can... We can't actually do that. So 3, 4, 5 coming in. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is... We could discard this, play this, get defense 2, draw a card. We can play that for 0. I don't want to do that just yet. So what we'll do is we'll discard a Drain Life, get 2 energy, and then we will play Mother Earth. This will give us defense 2, and then we get to draw a card. So let's flip that over. It's another Ivy Skin. The question is, do we Natural Barrier? Because we can discard these 2. Yeah, we can play both of these this turn. That's pretty good. So what we'll do is discard Universal Donor and Mother Earth to get 2 energy. That'll let us play Ivy Skin. That gives us defense 2, and we get to put bleed on enemies targeting us. So we'll go bleed, bleed, and then we've got our defense. Over to the Seer. We will discard Corpse in the Making. Get 2. This will let us play... Well, first we'll start off with the Hierophant. So we'll pay 1. Play the Hierophant. We reveal the top card. This is an attack. It's not a defense card, so we just get defense 1. So we'll get defense 2, which will protect us from this thing. Then we can discard a Defensive Insight. Oh, we don't need to, because we've only spent 1 on this. Yeah, we want to attack. We want to do this bit last. Oh, we know this is 100% success. So what we should do is... Who do we want to hit with this? Probably this guy. Yeah, probably this guy. So we're going to go after that. We'll use our Premeditation. We'll 100% hit an attack, so we'll attack for 2. That's the second time we've used a Divination this turn, so we will draw a card. That will let us play out our entire hand. Yeah, so then we can play the B-Plan. And then we can discard Corpse in the Making. That puts us back up to 2. And then we can go... Let's see, what have we got over here? 4. We're getting attacked for 5. So what we can do here is make use of the cooperative mechanic, and that means that we get to play a card, 1 card per turn for an ally. So what we'll do is, well, I say 1 card per turn, each player can play a card. So if we got player A, player B, they can both each play a card on the Sorcerer. But what we'll do is we'll play the Defensive Insight, and we'll play it for our Sorcerer, so it costs us our energy. And then we'll get defense 1. The Sorcerer hasn't used a Divination this turn, so they're not going to be able to take advantage of that. And lastly, we'll just use this on ourselves to go up to defense 4. Simply because there's no other reason to not do that. Then we come back over to our Sorcerer. We have enough defense here, so what we can do is discard the Ivy Skin. So we spent the 2 last turn. We'll get 2 energy here. We'll play Natural Barrier, which is attack 1, defense 1. Inflicts bleed on up to 3 enemies. So we'll get defense 1, attack 1, and then we'll put a bleed on each of these. Then what we'll do is at the end of our turn, we'll put a status effect in play that's not currently in play, and we'll put the Prison status effect on the Cultist. So then we come to the end of the turn. We'll go ahead and clean this up. Let's set our energy back. Drag those to our discard pile. You know, it helps if we group our cards. Group them here. And then we come here, we come here. This is a permanent skill, so this stays in play. And then you'll start to see what the synergies are like. So first thing is we attack we resolve our prison. So the cultist will lose a health. And then we attack free against the sorcerer. We have defense 6, so we just reduce by 3. And then at the end of this minion's turn, we resolve the bleed, which in this case is going to deal 2. But because the B plan doubles up the damage, that will kill the cultist. So we'll just absolutely rinse through this team. And then we do the same here. The Fanatic is going to attack for 2 on the Sorcerer. We still got plenty of guard, or plenty of defense here. And then we resolve both these bleeds. That will kill this one. Oh, let's grab the counter, not the card. And lastly, the Host will attack for 2 on the Seer, as we're targeting the Seer. But that won't be enough to get through all of the defense that we have. So we clear that one up, and then we come over to round 2. So we will draw our last card on the Seer, and then we'll flip this over, random it up. We will draw 5 more cards. We'll trigger our Class Relic, our Tarot deck, and we haven't lost any sanity, so we'll just go ahead and gain the energy. And then what we'll do is these 3 cards are going to come out for the Sorcerer. Yeah, probably a good turn to drain life, and then we're going to draw 3 more cards. 1, 2, 3. And let's see what we got. Yeah, we're going to be fine. So for round 2, this card attacks for 4. It inflicts 2 vulnerability. It does get 1 defense because of the fluctuation. And it only has 4 HP. So all we have to do is bleed and fluctuate to win. So what we'll do is... oh yeah, we've got double drain life. So we can discard our drain life. If I just organize this a little bit, it's a little bit easier. Discard drain life. Play drain life to deal 2 damage. This is targeting the player with the lowest HP again. So it is going to be targeting the Seer. We'll drain life, so that'll deal 2, and then we'll gain a health back. Next, we'll discard our Ivy Skin. This will give us 2 energy, and then we'll play Natural Barrier. So this will attack 1, defense 1, and then we'll put bleed on up to 3 enemies. So we'll put it on here. Then for our Seer, we can literally just discard 2 defensive insights, play Fluctuation. Fluctuation is attack 2 or defense 2. So what we can do is just kill this, and it doesn't really matter. We could give ourselves defense, for example. Yeah, there's the power of the B plan right there, allowing us to very cleanly take that fight down, and we're back on full health, so we're off to a really good start here. We've got some pretty good pickups. So I will go ahead and put the minions, common back. Common minion even. That fight was a little bit harder than I gave myself credit for, in terms of what it was. And then we've just got to go ahead and put everything back. So we'll group here. Put this down to discard. Our permanent skills, they go back into the deck at the end of each fight. It'd be amazing if they just stayed out in front of you for the whole run, but alas, that is not how they work. So then we're going to reset our energy counts. Cool, that's everything. So let's take a look at our rewards. It should be 2 gold and a progress point. So we'll go 2 gold, progress points. When we get to 9, we spawn the Great Old One, so we do keep that in mind. We'll do this, and then we will flip over a common reward for each player. So give these a shuffle. 1, 2, 3. We have a duplicate, so we'll get another one. Tactical withdrawal. Discard all conditions for a character or enemy. Regain 1 health for each. This is pretty cool because it has sustain, but the thing that I don't really want to do with this is add skills to the deck. Especially if we're playing divinations. This card's not bad. If it ever gets hit on a divination, it's always a success, and we get to draw a card on it. And we can always discard it for 2 energy, so we will just go ahead and take it. It's a bit of an awkward card, but since we have Broken Sphere, I think we can enjoy that one. And we're playing a little bit of a hybrid. We're going to be prioritizing bleed, but We'll see what happens. Our Sorcerer is pretty good for getting the status effects down as well. Oh, we get another natural barrier. Okay, yeah, I'm quite happy to take that. If an enemy's trying to inflict a condition on you, add attack 2. And this is pretty good for certain encounters. The problem is like it only discards for 1 energy, and there are a lot of fights where it's not helpful. Polychromy, attack X or defense X, where X is a number of condition types in play. If we were playing with a character who put down more prison status effects, I wouldn't mind this, as we start getting quite good value out of it. But as we're the one putting down all the status effects and it's mostly bleeds, just take another natural barrier and put that in our deck, as that's going to let us start getting those B-plan procs off pretty quickly. So then we come back over here and we'll put down our second Explorer token. So that's going to be 2 of the encounters down. And we're going to move into fighting Encounter 3. Encounter 3 is going to be Common, Common, Minion, Minion. We don't need this prison, so let's just put this down. So Common, Common, Minion, Minion. Deploy. And while that does that, we'll do this. Okay, let's sort it out by initiative, and that means this dog gets to the front of the queue. Everyone else is where they're supposed to be. This card's really annoying. So this is starting with 4, 0 defense, and 4 HP. That's easy to kill. Undertaker is attacking for 1, has 3 defense and 3 HP. Mutant Bug is a little bit more dangerous because it ignores the first condition you try and put on it, and it has protection 1. So we take a look at this. We can see this will probably be one of the last ones we try and kill. The Plague is really annoying. It regains 1 health at the end of the round. If there are other enemies, even if the Plague is dead, it comes back. So that basically has to die on the last turn. So these two are probably, if we can get away with it, this wants to die first because it hits very, very hard. This guy, we're probably very easy able to bleed out. And then it's just a case of getting through the bug. We are attacking leader, highest HP, last person to attack me, leader. So we'll go ahead and put the leader token on the Sorcerer, as that's going to give us the best chance to play Ivy Skin. And then this will be the last player that attacks it. So we've randomed up, and we'll draw our 6 cards. We do start with a B plan. Let's put this here. We got any duplicates? No. Okay, and then we'll take our 6 cards over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then flip this over. We do get a natural barrier and an Ivy Skin. We just want to make sure that we're putting this dog down before it attacks us, which we can do because we've got Blood Cool. We've got Ivy Skin, Natural Barrier, Double Blood Cool, but we can't play both. I mean, we could discard the Natural Barrier. We could discard the Natural Barrier and play Mother Earth to draw a card. We are getting some additional value. We've drawn 2 of our 3 defensive cards, so what we can do is we'll discard the medium term to get 2. This will let us play the B plan for 1. We can discard the Hierophant and then play Corpse in the Making. That has a pretty good chance of going off. Let's take a look here. Yeah, because we can go Corpse in the Making, and then we can kill it with a Blood Cool. But that is... Oh, we've got 2 divinations, so we might even draw cards. So we'll discard the... It's going to be... We can actually discard the Defensive Insight, actually. Here. So what we can do is play Corpse in the Making for 2. This is attack 2. And if successful, it inflicts 2 bleed. So what we can do is attack here for 1, 2. And we'll do our divination. It's a hit, so we put 2 bleeds on. Which is cool. Then what we can do is... We want defense because we're getting attacked for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. Maybe we're not playing... Yeah, I don't think we're playing the natural barrier this turn, so we can discard this for 2. Play the Mother Earth to get defense 2. Draw a card. It's another Ivy skin. Discard the Ivy skin to get 2 energy. Oh, Mother Earth could be... No, I think this will be okay. We'll get another 2 defense and then draw a card. Yeah, and then we can discard this for 2 energy. Ivy skin, go to 6. Put bleed on up to 3 enemies targeting us. So that's going to be you, you, and you. We can use our premeditation here and flip over the top card. It's a hit, so we get 2 damage. So we're going to go 2 damage, and that's the second time we've divined this turn, so we'll activate our Broken Sphere to draw a card. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we'll get rid of this dog. We could have just let the dog bleed out, but we don't really want it hitting us. See, what I'm a fan of here is we can actually figure out exactly what's left in the deck. So we've seen both our Corpse in the Makings, both Defensive Insights, and the Hierophant. That is all of our defensive cards, so these 2 are attacks. We've not seen a fluctuation. So this is 2 fluctuations in here. And I would rather not discard either of them. This situation. So what we can do is discard this and play the Hierophant cooperatively onto our Sorcerer, since we know the Sorcerer is going to be attacked by everyone. Next turn we get 2 fluctuations. So we're going to be pretty well set. And then... what we can do with our Sorcerer is we could play these Blood Cools, but I don't think we necessarily have to. It ends up costing us health, but we've got... we should play 1, because then it gives us a chance to play Drain Life next turn. So if we play 1 on this, it does nothing. Okay, so yeah, it actually does nothing to play the Blood Cools. We can just pass, and then we can use our Swamp Plague to put a condition that's not in play. So what we'll do is we'll put the Prison on the Undertaker. Then we resolve the attacks. The first attack, we reduce this Undertaker's HP by 1 because of the prison. We attack for 1, reduce this. Bleed deals 2 because of the bleed plan, and the Undertaker will be undertaken. The Mutant Bug will attack for 2. It's attacking the last player that attacked it, but since no one attacked it, it will attack the leader. So we'll just go ahead and reduce 2, and then nothing else happens. Plague will attack the Sorcerer for 2, and then bleed out. And then what happens is at the end of the round, it regains health and comes back to life. And then we come over to round 2, and we put our tokens back. We have to shift our leader token. So this time, it's going to be the Seer that's being targeted. And we take a look here. We're at 3, 2, 5, 2, 2, 1. Yep, I've just got to reset everything real quick. One of those is a Drain Life, so we know we've got energy next turn at least. Let's put these 3 out. And Natural Barrier as well. Flip these over. Thanks, Tabletop Simulator. Random, random, random. 3 cards, please. 1, 2, 3. Again, I'm not too happy with these Mother Earths. They're a bit clunky. We will draw our 2 cards here. Flip this over. Random it. Draw 4 cards. We'll get an energy for free. Last player that attacked it. Yeah, so we'll discard our Drain Life. If I just sort this out so it's a little bit tidier. We discard Drain Life to get 2 energy. What we can do is pay 2 to play Natural Barrier. This gives us defense 1, attack 1, defense 1, and then we put bleed on up to 3 enemies. This ignores the first condition placed on it. We get a bleed over here. Then next up we can discard 1, we can discard 2. technically we could just discard this. We could play this because that'll give us 2 energy, and then we draw a card, and it's most likely going to be 2. We'll get 2 defense, draw a card. Yeah, and then we can discard this to give ourselves 2 energy, and then we can play Ivy's Skin. Go to 5 defense, put bleed on enemies targeting us. This one isn't targeting us, but we were the last player to attack the mutant bug, so this bleed will actually stick. And then we can look at our Seer. Our Seer has access to free energy because we got the extra one. Fluctuation. There's a bleed condition in play, so we can just deal 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can... That reduces our energy by 2. Discard the Hierophant, go to free energy. We can play Fluctuation. This will deal 2. We can gain 2 defense as well. Doesn't particularly matter. We don't... I'm just trying to see if there's anything to gain here, but we're on full stats for everything, so we don't have to drag the fight out. If we just end our turn, the Swamp Plague, our class relic can put a condition that's not already in play. We can put the prison on. Before this attacks, it just dies, and then we clear up the encounter. So that's going to be really good for us. I'll go ahead and just reset everything real quick. Off to a really good start, actually. I'm quite happy with how this is coming out. I'd like to be a little bit more certain on my divinations, because we're a little bit of a mixed bag, but there are some good cards to help with that later on. It also gives us some card draw in the Seer. Oh, yeah, let's get this B-plan really getting its values worth here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. This is common, minion, common, minion. Let's put this back. Our rewards for encounter free is 2 gold, progress point, and a common card for each player. So we go 2 gold, progress points, and then common card for each player. So let's take a look at our Seer. 1, 2, 3. Flip them over. We have a duplicate. So we'll go ahead and flip this over. Oh, this is interesting. Shuffle your hand with your draw and discard piles. Draw that many cards as you had in hand. Gain 1 energy. This can really let us dig for our spells pretty quickly. So our permanent skills. So we can get to our B-plan pretty fast. Rearranged Destiny is another great card to have in a divination build. I would rather get this a little bit later if we know we're going to have a lot. The Fool. At the start of your turn, inflict bleed 1 on all enemies. If you discard this card attempting a divination, inflict bleed 1. This is also pretty good, as it basically means that we get that first bleed down every single turn. We've got pretty good ways of getting bleeds, and there is a limit on the number of conditions we can inflict on players. So start over is always 2 energy. It's a skill, so it does mess with our divinations a little bit, but it does let us play our better cards more frequently. And we gain energy for each card we shuffle back. So draw as many cards as you had in hand. So if we have 5 cards, we just get 5 energy, and we get 5 cards, we can play this. Yeah, we'll take start over. This is going to help us do some silly things. And it's not a card that I frequently take. The Fool definitely goes in our build, but because we got the Sorcerer, I think we can afford to try and go for a higher power ceiling on our Seer character. Let's flip over 3 for our Sorcerer. Ideally some good defensive options here. Yeah, recursiveness, defense free, inflict a condition. That's very good. Chaining is also good, but I think we're pretty good. Affliction changes all of enemy's conditions to weakness, and then you get an extra weakness. I really like this one if you went with the Possessed, because the Possessed has a couple of cards that care about weaknesses, but we'll take recursiveness. It's quite big on the defense, and it basically means that we can set up additional stuff. So let's come back to our map, and we get to put down our Explorer number 3. We're not going to use the portal. We're going to come back to that a little bit later. So we're going to try and explore south. Let's not grab all of those. We have a connecting tile. We have found another shop. We don't want to take 2 shops in this run. And the reason for that is it increases our encounter track. And that means our fights get harder quicker. And we only really want to get to the shop when we've got to encounter 7, so we can buy uncommon cards. And even then, we need a lot of gold if we're going to be doing that. So we're going to go ahead and take this encounter here. And that is going to be encounter number 4. So we're going to go minion, minion, servant. Minion, minion, servant. And we're going to deploy our enemies. And then... Yep, this is the correct order. So highest sanity, last to attack me, last to attack me. So that's going to be our Seer. And then these will attack whoever has the leader if they haven't been attacked. Corruptella is just a thing that has a big health pool. We'll take a look at our Orcameric in just a second. This is the dangerous one. At the start of the round, characters with bleed or weakness are dealt 1 damage. The good news is we just got to make sure we don't trigger the Orcameric, because if it's been dealt damage during a round, it inflicts bleed 1 on all characters, and then this is going to start adding it up. This also hits really hard, so ideally I'd like to just obliterate this on round 1 if we're in a position to do so. Let's random this up, draw 6. We do get this, and we get our B plan, and we get to put this back in the deck, so I like that. Then we're going to go ahead and see what our Sorcerer is going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully a natural barrier in our opener would be great. There we go. We can discard Drain Life for 2 energy. That let us play Mother Earth, pay 2, draw a card. We can discard Drain Life to play Mother Earth to get 2 defense, draw a card. And then we can, yeah, we can discard this for 2. We can play... Do we need to play Natural Barrier now? Probably. We can play Natural Barrier, attacking this guy. And then we'll get Defense 1. Oh, hang on. Sorry, it's just Attack 1. And then we're going to put Bleed on up to 3 enemies. So it's going to be 1, 2. And then we've got these 2, so we can control who's attacking. What we're going to do here is discard the Defensive Insight. We don't want to put that back in the deck to give us our 1 energy. This lets us play our B plan. We have 4 cards, so we're going to play Start Over. This lets us shuffle our hand and discard piles back into the deck, and then we draw 4 new cards. So we can just go ahead and put, 3 new cards. So we'll put these 3 back in here. Oh, group please. Random, draw 3. And then we have 3 energy. That's pretty good, actually. We can discard this. Gives us enough to go. That's really strong. We have the leader token on the Sorcerer. The Sorcerer also has 5 defense, which will be enough. So we just go Fluctuation, Fluctuation. This costs us 4. Ah, this one's attacking us. So we do want to keep that in mind. If we deal 5 to this, our Sorcerer is getting attacked for 7. But it does let us put... Oh, wait. Yeah, we can deal 5 to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We deal 4. And then we can deal 2. And then we can get 2 defense. Then the Sorcerer can play 1 Blood Cool to sacrifice a health to deal 2 damage to this. So that will remove the dangerous one. Then to protect our Seer's health pool, what we can do at the end of turn is use Swamp Plague to put a weakness on the Corruptella. So this is going to reduce the damage that the Corruptella deals by 1. So this basically means that we take a look. We didn't use any divinations. We're good. We could choose to play the Blood Cool, but we're not going to. We don't really want to be sacrificing unless we have to. This attacks our Seer. So we reduce our defense by 2, and then we take the weakness off. Bleed deals 2 because of the B plan. Corrupt Teller will attack the last player that attacked it. No player attacked it, so it attacks the leader, as that's a tie. And this will deal 2 damage to our Sorcerer. And then we're ready to go to round 2. So we'll go ahead and just dump this in. Start over being really, really good there, letting us just straight away focus on getting the good stuff out. Also a card you can cooperatively play for your allies and basically just let them get a bunch of stuff. I mean, playing Start Over with allies is actually insane. 4. Okay. And then we flip this over. And it's 2. 1, 2. And then Seer, we'll just take our 6 cards, and then we'll get a free energy. Again, keep drawing our candle, our medium term. But so for this one, highest sanity. We've got to make sure we set this up correctly. So it's 2, 2, 4 HP, and then this one's attacking for free this turn. And the leader token moves over. So yeah, I do kind of want to play this. Can we kill here? We've got 1, 2. I think it's just 1 defensive card in here. I'm just trying to figure out if our divinations... Oh, we've got a skill as well. We've got a free energy. This is cool. I kind of want to put the medium term back in the deck, though. I think I'm quite happy to say we're only going to get attacked for free this turn. So I will discard the cursiveness to use Drain Life to attack this for 2. And this puts our health back up. Then we can discard an Ivy Skin to play Natural Barrier. So we get to attack 1. It gives us defense 1. And then we put bleed on both of these. 1, 2. Kind of can't really do anything else. But then for our Seer, we can use our 1 energy to potentially Hierophant. Corpse in the Making is also pretty good, but I think we just go Hierophant first. So we'll get a defense. We'll flip over the top card. Yep. So that misses, we get defense 1. Does mean that we're more likely to succeed now. So that's 1 divination. We can discard this candle because we know we can't get it back in the deck now. We can use Corpse in the Making to attack this for 2. We'll flip over the top card. It's a defensive card, so we get no additional effect. But that is the second time we've used divination this turn, so this will let us draw an additional card, which is going to be our Fluctuate. That is a shame because we're not going to be able to play that. So we've got 1, 2, 3. All of our defensive cards are out and all of our skills are out. So we know we're getting attacked for 2. We can premeditation on this guy. It is going to kill. It would be a defense and an attack, so that works. So we get to get rid of the Corrupt Teller. Not the Corrupt Teller, sorry. This guy, the Orchimeric. Next up, we will play our premeditation and attack this for 2, as we're going to flip over an attack card. Our deck is empty, so we can get a energy. So what we'll do then is discard our defensive insight, and then we can play Fluctuation to deal 4 to clear this up. And another really good fight, and we're able to get a little bit of our sustain going as well from our Drain Life. So we end that encounter as well. So we go Minion, Minion, Servant. That was one of the bigger ones, and that was encounter 4. Put our tokens back, reset everybody. B-Plan not really doing a lot there because just everything was dead. But our divination, broken sphere, allowing us to close the encounter a little bit earlier than we would expect. Group up, please, and give that a shuffle. Give that a shuffle. Check our rewards. It is going to be minion servant, encounter 4, 2 gold, and a progress point. So 1, 2, give everybody a progress point. And then we'll flip over our common cards. 1, 2, 3. I don't like the Hermit. Medium term is probably the most playable here. Gives us a chance to just hit it on our divinations and then we get ridiculous benefits. We can also put them back in the deck if we draw the restart. They also always discard for 2 energy, which makes them pretty good here. Bloodblade is very good. Attack 4, inflict a condition, sacrifice 1. Also discards for 2. So effectively we can get like 5 damage out of this by putting prison on things. Chaining is pretty good. But I think I just take the Bloodblade. I mean, this protects our health total a little bit better. Maybe we don't take Bloodblade. Yeah, we can take our Chaining. Chaining... This is pretty good against some of the bigger enemies, though, as we get like a ton of damage through. Let's go for the Chaining. Like, I think Bloodblade is very, very good solo, but since we've got another character that's able to put out quite a bit of damage, I don't feel quite as bad doing it this way. That is going to wrap up encounter 4. So our next encounter is encounter 5, so I'll just go ahead and set the encounter track to 5. No, I'll leave it on 4, let's not make a mistake. That is going to put down 4 here. Not going to take this shop. We're going to come across here and try and connect. We can't actually connect this because we're not allowed to overlap the cards. So what happens in this situation is this tile gets lost and each character loses a sanity. You've got to be careful with our exploration because if we run out of tiles, we can end up in a really bad spot. So yeah, we'll come here and then we'll come across and take this encounter, which is going to be encounter 5, and I'll just go ahead and move this up. Okay, we're going to jump ahead here. So last you saw it, we were on encounter 4, about to start encounter 5. I've gone ahead and completed the rest of the map, and we're ready to fight the Great Old One. Now, I will just give over some highlights of what happened whilst you were gone. I got roughed up a little bit. Some of these encounters include elites, are pretty challenging. So in one of the fights, we got beat up quite hard. We did end up spending all of our gold, and then we got beat up again right before the Great Old One. This is not the ideal spot that I would like to end up in before challenging a boss, but overall we had a pretty good run. Our deck, just trying to think of major things that changed. We picked up some of our uncommon cards, so cards like Cut, the Devil, the Hanged Man, and Rupture. Rupture was an amazing pickup. We also picked up the Wheel of Fortune. So we had some pretty good stuff that came out on our Seer. Our deck is also 17 cards, so we're getting through that at least every 3 turns, so we're going to be triggering the Tower deck frequently, and of course that's going to be even faster with our divinations. Over on the Sorcerer, we picked up a Channeling. This is for a bit of sustain. We also picked up a Swamp Construct, even. Not a very great card, but it's in there. We also picked up Poison. Poison, very, very good for the type of deck that we're in, as this will let us get back sanity and also hit very, very hard. And yeah, I think the other card was Deadly Calm to give us a bit of defense, and it gives us a little bit of extra damage on characters with bleed. So if we play the Rupture, for example, we can then Deadly Calm and get some stuff going. So I'm not too happy with the damage outputs that we kind of got to on the decks. I would have liked a little bit more, but overall we made it. We made it all the way to the end, and our next video will show you the fight with the Great Old One, Cthulhu. I won't spoil it, but for now, we'd like to say, hey, if you saw some plays that you would advise against, or you had a couple of different lines that will help out some newer players, please put them in the comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. If you had questions or you got things that you want to see, perhaps you want to see me try do this with different classes, just let me know. And we would love it if you'd go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you will be the first to know when the next part of this series goes up. For now, I'm going to sign it off here. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you've appreciated this Adventure Time video for Rise of Myth Cthulhu, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers.